Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what actionable intelligence is? Well, it's information that you can act on in order to be able to soften the blow when it finally comes to be. So for example, let's say that I told you right now that next year there was going to be 0 rice on the shelves. 0. And you eat rice in your normal diet. That is intel that you can take action on. You can go and stock up on rice now, right? And that's what a lot of these videos that I do are about. It's things that I find on either this website or this article or another that I'm like, man, that seems like it's very probable and we should probably prepare for this. However, ladies and gentlemen, first let me tell you that if you did not watch the very first video that I released this morning, go check that video out. It is very important. I also want to thank the sponsor of this video, Genesis Gold Group. Now this article here, I'm going to nitpick with you. It's from an interview that Mr. Jim Rickards had with Mr. Greg Hunter from USA Watchdog. If you're not subscribed to Mr. Greg Hunter at USA Watchdog, he was ousted from YouTube, but he is on Rumble, and he is a very good man, and he does the very best interviews. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the link to all of these articles on a pinned comment so that you can revisit them later on if you would like to. So during this interview, he was talking to Mr. Hunter about that FTX, you know, that crypto thing that went bust, and there's all these investigations and whatever. I don't think that anyone's really going to get busted that really matters. But anyways, he says that with or without that happening, that we're going into a financial crisis anyways. He says if FTX never existed, I would say we are starting a worse financial crisis in 2008. That's if it never even existed. You have to understand, with FTX, there was a lot of hedge funds that were actually invested in that, and that money is completely gone. There's absolutely almost nothing in there. I would say less than 1% of what there was originally. It's just a very big Ponzi scheme. And he says, we were going to have a crash worse than 2008 anyways without FTX. Now throw FTX on top of that, and it's like throwing gasoline on the fire. It will accelerate the fire, so we're probably going to have problems anyway, but the FTX implosion just makes it a lot worse. He says that the Fed is going to keep raising rates because that is what they keep telling the public, and it is. They haven't told the public that they're not going to keep raising rates. They said that they may be going down to 50 basis points instead of 75, but their goal is to continue to keep raising rates pretty much until the economy implodes. He says that they are telling us what they are going to do, and you should believe them, and I would have to agree with Mr. Rickards on that point. Thank you, Genesis Gold Group, for sponsoring this video. Ladies and gentlemen, I've received several emails in the past asking me what I would do if I had a 401k or an IRA that I wanted to protect against the inflationary forces that we've experienced and are experiencing now. I'm not a financial advisor, but the folks at Genesis Gold Group specialize in helping those who want to diversify their excess wealth by converting their fiat currency retirement plans into a plan that is backed by real money. So if you're in a position where you are wondering what you can do in order to diversify or insulate your wealth against what I like to call the inferno of inflation, give Genesis Gold Group a call, and they can provide you with the information that you need in order to make an educated decision. Once again, thank you very much, Genesis Gold Group, for sponsoring this video. He goes on to say how important it is for people to hold cash. We're going to have, as I've stated in the past, this is what I believe. This is not Mr. Rickards saying this. In the past, I've stated that we're experiencing inflation now. And then we're going to go from inflation to deflation, meaning that deflation, your dollars are going to be worth more. So it's a good idea to keep a stash of cash on the side if you can. But I believe that after we go through that deflationary period, that the Fed is going to pivot course 180, and they're going to start printing like crazy, which will make it extremely inflationary. Now let's see what he says. He says, why does Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway have $130 billion in cash? It's because Buffett sees what I see. And he says, yes, this thing is going to completely crash. He says it's a really good idea to have cash because you can go shopping in the wreckage and pick up some good bargains. My point is, we don't have to guess. Look at the Treasury yield curve. Look at the Eurodollar futures yield curve. Look at other metrics and guess what it looks like. It looks like 2007. Everything I'm describing, but not quite as extreme, by the way, was true in 2007, meaning that it is even more extreme now. And for good reason. There's a whole bunch more debt now in the system than there was in 2007, 2008, which means that we are in for a far worse crisis than 2008, and it is coming. And to finish it off, ladies and gentlemen, he reiterates that after this inflationary period that we're experiencing now, we're going to have a big deflationary period. So cash will be king during that time, at least contained here within the United States. I'm not sure how much cash will be king outside of the United States, but things will go on sale here for a little bit, and then I believe that things are just going to explode upward. Now, I want to share this chart with you where it shows exactly how our economy is doing on the personal level. Here it says 9 to 12 more months, how long U.S. consumers have before the bottom falls out. Now, take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. A picture says 1,000 words. Take a look at this. Here, your green line is the amount of savings that the American public has in banks. This is how much savings you have, and I believe it's about 1.3 trillion or so, something like that. But take a look at the red line. The red line is how much debt there is, credit card debt there is. See the big difference on how much more debt? So even if every American took everything that they had in savings and paid off debt with it, they couldn't pay it all off. Silver demand is on pace to hit record levels in 2022, driven by new highs for physical investment, industrial demand, jewelry, and silverware production. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a technological world, and we need silver in order for the world that we live in to continue to be the same thing as far as technology goes, medicine, automobiles, anything that you can think about, silver was involved. Here it says that global silver demand projected to reach a new high in 2022 of 1.21 billion ounces. That is a huge deal. What does that mean? Ladies and gentlemen, for like the past several years, global silver production from mining is only about 800 million ounces, 850 million. And then the delta, the difference, was always made up through recycling of like jewelry, of other items that have silver in them, from investors turning their silver in or whatever. But that's how the delta was made up. But now more people are investing in silver personally, right? And if we're going to need 1.21 billion ounces of silver, then where is that other 400,000 ounces going to come from? It says here that that's going to be an increase of about 16% from 2021. Industrial demand makes up more than 60% of silver usage. So let's just do some numbers. 1.2 billion, 60% of 1.2 billion is 600,000 plus 120, 720 million, ounces of silver is what we're going to need for industrial demand. And the world as a whole mines a total of about 850. Which gives us a difference of about 130 million ounces surplus to go into investment, to go into jewelry, to go into technology, etc., etc. In my opinion, silver is going to skyrocket in nominal value, probably sooner than later. Silver, in my opinion, is going to be, in a way, the new oil. Because right now, silver is the second most used commodity in the world. Silver is. Oil being number one. And look at how much silver costs per ounce on the spot price market. There is no way that that price can stay the same going long term or even short to midterm, because the world needs silver. We are producing less silver, then where are you going to get that silver? Only from those people that already have it. So for those of you that have been hardcore stackers over the years, not worrying what the price is, knowing what the final outcome would be, congratulations to you. I believe that your payday will soon come. But I could be wrong. So do your own research. All right. Here it says that the big U tells its people not to panic, as who warns of life-threatening winter. Put simply, this winter will be about survival. Now, I'm not going to go over this article. I didn't pull it up to actually talk about the article. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to ask yourselves a question. Take a look at this picture right here. Very sad picture it looks like to me. 1 year ago from today, do you think that these people were thinking or had any idea that they would be in the predicament that they are now? 1 year ago from today. Remember that all of this stuff with the big R and the big U started on the 24th of February, I do believe, of this year. So 1 year ago today, do you think that they thought or had any idea that they were going to be facing the challenges that they are facing today? How Europe's energy crisis could turn into a food crisis. Let me ask you that question again. In Europe, in all of the countries of Europe, we all hear what's going on over there with the energy crisis and now a food crisis because they don't have enough natural gas to produce fertilizer, because some crazy legislators or state governments over there are telling their farmers that they can't farm anymore. I don't know why in the world, but anyways, they're doing so. 1 year ago from today, do you think that the people of Europe were thinking to themselves, man, next year, I think the price of gas, fuel, energy, etc. is going to go up 10 times. And now, where's it at? It's about 5 to 10 times more than what they were paying a year ago. People are going to freeze this year. But my question is, do you think that they were thinking about that a year ago? More than likely not. So what's to say that no matter what country you're in, I'm talking about here in the United States, but no matter what country you're in, what's to say that a year from now, you won't be facing the same predicaments as these people from these other countries? So that is why I say prepare, and prepare now. If you haven't started preparing, it's not too late. It's more expensive, but you still have time. So get prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Qatar and China make history with 27-year LNG supply deal. So now Qatar is going to be supplying China with all of the LNG that they need for the next 27 years. Incredible, ladies and gentlemen. The United States of America will lose its world dominance. I'm not saying that because I want it to happen. Obviously not. I live in the United States of America. But I'm saying it because all of the data is telling me that that will happen. The United States of America eventually in our lifetime, unfortunately, will become a third world country. Why? Because we've played the police of the world, right? Using the riches of our own country to police the world. We've bullied the world around with the US dollar. Now most countries don't really like us. The countries that deal with us, I believe, is because they have no choice. Most countries don't really like us, and they're shifting away from the Western nations because of the policies and just the crazy stuff that these politicians have going on. So prepare yourself, because it's the only thing that you can do, right? Prepare yourselves to insulate yourselves from what will be coming eventually. Having said that, have a great day. Again, go watch that video that I put out earlier this morning. It's very important. And also, let me remind you all that this Friday, we will not have a live stream. However, what I'm doing is that this Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to have a live stream for about an hour or so, starting at 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, so that I can hang out with you, especially those of you that maybe don't have anyone to spend Thanksgiving with. So if you like, join in on this Thursday at 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll have a good time chit-chatting for about an hour or so. And we're also going to do the Christmas lighting ceremony here in the bunker. Having said that, have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for all your support, and God bless every single one of you.